YouTube has been around for what seems like forever, and for some of you watching, you wouldn't be old enough to remember a time without it. It has come a long way since its formation, evolving to the taste of an evolving audience, for better or for worse. At the start, there was the Zoo video, Nyan Cat, Charlie Bit My Finger, but soon enough, the platform, ever evolving to tastes, as it still is, seemed to push videos of angry blokes that seemed to hate everything. You had the likes of Angry Grandpa, Fat Francis, Angry Video Game Nerd. Amongst that collective, there was a man who seemed a lot more manic and slightly lesser known.
Fire resistance, baby! Tactical! Where the fuck is my water at?
This man goes by the online alias of Elpresador and is known mostly for being a raging maniac, with his videos being very heavily opinionated on whatever topic seems to come to mind, be that the console he is playing, the NFL, lag, and even coffee makers.
Oh, cool! Second time in a row, Kookie!
He has been on the platform pretty much since the beginning, and still uploads regularly to this day. His acts of rage brought many viewers to his channel. Many found his style of content funny or slightly controversial, be that the videos of hating on things. As such, people left rebuttals to his takes in his comment section, becoming puppets, dancing for the Puppet Master.
Puppet Master, y'all dance for me!
Despite the angry character trend falling off, as YouTube trends tend to do, Elpresador seemed to evolve with the tastes, later becoming a Call of Duty commentator and an avid Twitter user in tandem with his YouTube videos, which is where his most acclaimed content came from. As the times went on, Elpresador evolved further, but it got to a point where he didn't seem to care about staying in the limelight. Some would say he devolved and seemed to become more and more manic. I personally came across this man around 2018 because of the videos, and I didn't see much of him past that point. That wasn't until a few followers suggested that I take a deeper look into Elpresador, saying there's a lot more below the surface level of which is a bit of an understatement. The rage seemingly didn't stop at lag and consoles and games. It eventually moved on to people. The topic started to get darker and darker and a lot more controversial. The videos went from over-the-top comedic shock and faded into crazy ramblings, getting to a point of just noises. I've watched nearly every video Elpresador has uploaded onto the internet, and the rabbit hole goes deep. Come with me down that rabbit hole as we try to find out what this man is all about and find out why he does the things that he does. This is an investigation into Elpresador, one of the internet's oldest characters.
Stage 4, Lou Gehrig's, whatever.
And you also went inside! You're gonna be euthanized!
There's some things that you can't explain in life.
49ers suck! And I'll be honest with you, if I read my tweets, I'd probably think I was a racist also, but I'm not. A beauty! Mom, I'm a beauty! I'm a beauty!
To best understand this man, it's best to start at the very beginning. Elpresador's YouTube career began on the 6th of July 2008, about 17 years ago. Let's take a look.
You need help on defense. Well, 6'1", 238 pounds. Would I be enough help? As you can see, look at my gym set here. I keep in shape. I run a 40 in 5.7 seconds. I'm ready to re-enroll in college. I'm ready to do it, Lockhaven. Are you gonna give me the chance? Is it a match made in heaven, Lockhaven? Is it a match, John? I'm going to college.
We see a man who likes football and wants to go back to college for it, despite looking about 40 years old. It's hard to tell if he's being serious though. We don't really get much apart from that, so let's move on to the first series on the channel, the console wars. Around the late 2000s, Sony and Microsoft fans battled each other over whose console was better. Video arguments like Elpresador's were rife during this era, with people moaning about each other's takes and getting emotionally involved within the war. The console war still goes on today, but it's nowhere near as big as it used to be. Elpresador, seeing these console wars, decided to put his own 2 cents in, with him being on the side of the PlayStation. Let's take a look at some of his takes.
What up, 360 bitches? Welcome to my house again, baby. PlayStation Nation. Why does it have a 33% failure rate and now people are saying it's only got a 17% failure rate? Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but if I get 100 plane rides and it's got 17% failure rate, that means I die 17 times. You get it on the 360 now, the game, you also get an included bonus. And that would be this. A standardized home fire detector. It's government issue. It's made. It's by law they have to.
He seems to be angry at the very existence of Xbox. Most of his videos around this period follow this kind of style. Him sitting in a chair, shouting at the camera about why he hates the Xbox 360 and its games like Gears of War.
What is it, 4-player online battle in Gears? How in the fuck is that better? 32-player battle, how is that better? Someone please tell me that.
If you want to play a video game on the way to school, play Gears of War in your school bus. Just duck behind the seat and shoot. Duck, shoot, 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 duck, shoot.
5-on-5 online? Come on, man. You had that in your fucking basement, man. Are you starting to get mad at me? Are you getting mad at me?
And Halo, or as he says, Galo.
Galo, whatever.
What he hated most was obviously how flawed the initial Xbox was. The rate of failure was nuts. It was speculated to have a failure rate of about 30%, as shown by the infamous Red Ring of Death. It goes without saying, that was his main talking point.
I am the Red Ring of Death. I will strike at an unsuspected time. There is presently and will never be a cure for me. I am the Red Ring of Death.
Why not have 0% failure rate? And why defend the 17%?
Many people in the comments seem to hate Elpresador and his opinions, but his opinions do make sense, as shown by his catchphrase, irrefutable factual evidence.
I bring you irrefutable, undebatable, non-argumentable factual evidence in my videos.
I'm sure that if he didn't yell at the camera and spoke his opinions in a calmer manner, these comments wouldn't be as hateful. But that is what Elpresador was good at, making people angry. He wanted to get into arguments with people, oftentimes staying up all night, annoying people in his own comment section. That shouting and those catchphrases are what made Elpresador unique, a standout from the boring, whiny videos about the consoles, the ones with numbers and stats to back up their opinions. This guy was different, and for that, he started to get traction. Some of his other catchphrases include Tray for Life, in reference to the PlayStation Tray 3.
Hey.
Tray for life.
What is that one again, bro? Let me see it one more time.
For life.
Trade now, trade today, trade forever.
Fire at Resistance, which played at the end of his videos. This is a reference to the game Resistance, in case you didn't know.
Fire up Resistance. Fire up Resistance 2, baby. Fire up Resistance 2.
And my favourite, Chips and Dip's Halo Party.
Chips and Dip. Chips and Dip Halo Party.
It wasn't only Xbox he despised, the Wii was also on that list. He thought it was a kid's toy. Take a look.
I don't want to play it. It's too mature for me. I want my Wii. I want my Wii. A child store.
As the videos go on, Elpresador seems more and more deranged, with him praying to his PlayStation, talking to it, giving it a voice, and hitting himself in the head.
That's all you got? You can't hurt me. You gonna hit me again? These motherfuckers.
YouTube was a strange place back then. People got to see stuff that they never thought of seeing before. A fat man called Francis angry with the fact that his Mountain Dew was misplaced, a child getting his finger bitten with a stern force, and now a man praying to his PlayStation. All of these videos got pushed by the algorithm because of their outlandishness, but Elpresador was a bit different. He seems slightly insane, and he starts to reference that fact, with it apparently being a very obvious thing.
I'm mentally ill in case y'all didn't figure it out.
Him being mental didn't only impact his actions, but also his sense of humour. Take a look at this.
I'm gonna be leaving YouTube for about a week and a half. I had a tragic accident in my family. I lost my daughter. She went to get an ice cream cone at the ice cream fucking truck. Asshole driving it didn't see her and drug her for 3 fucking blocks. I thought I seen fucking pieces of my daughter on the fucking street. So I gathered them up real quick and tried putting her back together. It didn't work. Y'all motherfuckers getting all happy saying, good, good, tight, tight. I'm not all there. I have maybe a few screws loose.
Quite dark to say the least. It makes him come across as very unfiltered, with him wishing cancer on his haters. Might be the first guy to ever come up with that phrase. Take a look.
Fuck you, I hate you. I hope you fucking die. I fucking hope you get cancer. This and that.
Well, number one, you can't use that because that's my saying. To all my haters, I always hope you die of cancer. Of like pancreatic cancer, and it just ravages your body and it's not.
This is quite light from him. It gets quite a bit darker later on. Soon enough, the Trey Brotherhood and the console wars comes to an end with the release of the PlayStation Slim, apparently toppling Xbox from its throne, despite the 360 having a lot more sales. Slightly before that, he coined his most established catchphrase, Puppet Master, which is still used today. Take a look.
When I need to get something entertaining in my life, I say to myself, let me put a video out degrading the 360 so I can watch the little puppet fanboys that they are and dance around for me. You see? Dancing around to the weebles. Woo! You see this? I'm the puppet master. Let's dance. Put on your sad face and dance the blues.
Get used to hearing those two words, puppet master and also dance. They appear a lot throughout this video. After just 2 years of his existence on the platform, Elpresador drops a massive bomb against his own content and left many fans in dismay. He started playing Xbox games, which upset a lot of the hardcore members of the Trey Brotherhood. It was a shock, but Elpresador put the nail in the coffin on the 10th of April 2010, saying this about his own content.
How come we ain't making no console war videos though? The console war got old and boring. That shit was all done for entertainment. You believe in this fake console war? Then you are what I call a fucking social fucking reject. Get the fuck over it. There's never been a console war. It's always been about entertainment. I don't give a fuck about no fake ass console war. I do this on YouTube for fucking entertainment. You think I give a fuck about some gay ass fake console war? Get the fuck out of here. I don't give a fuck. It was easy ass fucking viewing right there to put videos out on a fake ass console war. That's why I did it. Never gave a fuck about it.
He was doing it for views, which I suppose is fair enough, but he insulted many of his own subscribers, a lot of whom were hardcore fans of the PlayStation 3. It put a massive distance between him and his original content. Whatever Elpres had lined up, he had to make it good to keep up with the rising stars of YouTube. This shows us that he didn't really care about what people think, making a lot of his own subscribers dance for the puppet master, with anger for this false sense of brotherhood and fandom. Like many other creators at the time, they moved away from their niches, starting to diversify their content. Elpresador's primary focus after the console wars was Call of Duty commentary. His first one, an MW2 game on Terminal, is actually his most viewed video on the channel, with nearly 1 million views. They somewhat resemble the chair rants, being very sweary and rage-filled, but that was his style, which made him big in the initial days of YouTube. Luckily for Elpresador, his niche wasn't in the console wars, it was being himself. A big sweary bloke who appears to get upset very easily. I say he appears to get upset, as the false portrayal of PlayStation nerdery was quite a big facade, and so maybe this was fake rage. No matter the sincerity though, it brought a lot of people in to watch. His commentaries eventually devolve into rants, with him hardly talking about the game, more like complaining about why the game sucks and how much he hates campers. The hatred spills out of the commentaries into chair rants about the game, with Elpres coming up with solutions to the problem. Take a note of some of these.
If you get caught illegally camping in a video game, 7 to 10 days in your county lockup. The character's running around, moving around. I want it so he shall be rewarded for moving around.
If you're gonna sit in one area, general area, and just sit there and camp, you're gonna be glowing real heavy red.
I want a bounty system on the person that won the previous game, which ultimately is a camper.
He sought a solution, and he eventually found it from another YouTuber, Wings of Redemption, a name that will come back over and over again in this video.
I can deal with the campers. Thanks to Wings of Redemption, he taught me how to deal with the campers. I watched his videos. Anyone out there that knows Wings of Redemption, he's a beast at this game. He's a fucking beast at this game.
Wings of Redemption, in case you didn't know, was a fellow Call of Duty commentator, one of the first on the platform to be so, initially creating tips and tricks videos. This was only at the start of YouTube though. Wings of Redemption's downfall is probably one of the worst in the history of the platform. I won't go over the Wings of Redemption downfall in this video, but Elpresador will state his opinion over and over again of the guy that he initially called a beast. The chair rants became a staple of his channel. They started to become literally about anything. NFL, sports, people that he hated, and they started to get a lot more controversial down the line, but we'll get onto that later. What was impressive from these chair rants though, was the ability to predict the GOAT status of LeBron. Take a look.
Jordan was a beast, but he in no way, shape, or form is a beast like LeBron James. Bryant ain't even in the same league as LeBron James. He's number 1. Kobe Bryant's number 2. And Michael Jordan's number 3.
That is factual, irrefutable evidence right there. My GOAT. Soon after the peak of the console wars, he mentions he's in the process of getting married at some point in the August of 2009, but there is nothing ever mentioned later on about that.
I'm in the process of getting married in August. Sometime in August. I don't want to give the date because people are going to, start, this and that. I got to keep it concealed. But anyway, I'm getting married here and I'm planning things out right now. So I'm a little busy.
Perhaps it was a lie, like his daughter being run over by an ice cream truck, or being a PlayStation fanatic, or maybe it just never came to fruition. His persona is what made him popular on the platform, with him closing in on the silver play button after just 2 years on the platform, becoming an established man on YouTube, breaking free from his niche, and moving past the limited fandom and reach that many others got stuck behind.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck this game.
As I said, Elpresador broke free from his niche and started to become a Call of Duty commentator, but these videos are, in principle, the same as the chair rants, filled with raging, mostly towards campers and kill streaks. The quality of the commentaries are initially terrible, with Elpresador filming them with his phone, until he realises that the videos of him raging at COD do well, so decides to increase the quality, eventually getting a PVR and a microphone. The first mic that he uses makes him sound an awful lot like Eric Mays. I'll play 2 audio clips and guess which one is Eric Mays.
Bullshit, I wouldn't do it, I don't expect anyone else to do it. You're damn right I'd do it.
If you wanna play with a child or wanna play a game, go to Toys R Us. I'm not the one.
Sitting around waiting for it takes too goddamn long.
See? Very similar. As the commentaries go on, the anger for kill streaks and camping gets more intense, up to the point of threatening deforestation. He would dive into trees in an effort to get the attention of Infinity Ward or Treyarch, sorry, Gayarch as he used to say.
Fuck you, fag-arch, gay-arch, you suck.
So that they will remove camping and kill streaks from the game. He gives a pretty damn good reason for removing kill streaks as well.
If God wanted kill streaks, he would have given Ted Bundy a chopper gunner after his 8th kill. But he didn't. If Ted Bundy wanted kill streaks, he would have given chopper gunner God after his 8th kill. But he didn't.
He has stated multiple times that Wings of Redemption and another YouTuber called Fisticuffs got him into commentary, with him eventually being persuaded to join the now infamous Machinima.
Actually, I got hired by Machinima like 2 weeks ago. People have been asking me, they say Machinima needs you this and that.
Upon signing the contract to join Machinima, Elpresador promised to improve the engagement of the platform, increase the entertainment value, and make Wings of Redemption into the GOAT of commentary.
That's who I am. A character. Entertainment at its finest. That's who I am. We're going to say all these commentators are quarterbacks. Wings of Redemption will make him Tom Brady. Because, he's a straight up beast of the game.
That didn't come to fruition, and Elpresador got fired a few years later because he couldn't be bothered to upload to Machinima, which was a good idea in hindsight. I'm sure that most of you know how bad Machinima flopped. It seemed like with the release of each new Call of Duty, Elpresador grew angrier and angrier, with the commentaries becoming filled with death threats and harsh words.
Fuck! Stop! Stop! Ah, you fucking suck!
Gunga Ginga!
Oh, I hate this game. Fuck you! Oh! I almost broke my controller, but you know what? I'm gonna do one better. You fucking...
It gets so bad that he can't upload some of these videos to his channel because of the words he was hurling at other players. Shame really, I would have liked to have seen them. The hatred reaches a climax upon the release of Call of Duty Ghosts, around 2014-ish, where Elpresador tortured the disc and broke it. He literally reached his breaking point. From that point forwards, the amount of commentaries drops drastically, getting to the point of re-uploading old videos in the hopes of capitalising on the hype at the time. Probably because he was fed up with the game. And Elpresador moves back to the chair rants. One of the most covered topics in the chair rants is sports, mainly NFL and basketball. Remember how I said Elpresador foresaw LeBron being a GOAT? Well, he only kept that opinion for about a year until LeBron moved from Cleveland to Miami. To say he now had the opposite opinion is a bit of an understatement.
Look, bitch, you will always be known as a bitch. You don't have it up here, the mentality, the killer mentality here. You can throw a 3-month-old infant right here in the paint right now. Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant would step on it. LeBron would break an ankle and get by it. He don't have the killer instinct. LeBron is ruining Wade. Wade don't need him. He's riding Wade's coattails. You can't buy killer instinct. You can take this to the bank. You can remember this. There is no way LeBron James will ever win a title in the NBA, no matter who he plays with.
Based on his teams, be that the Cavaliers and the Browns, it's safe to say that he's from Ohio, most likely Cleveland. Being a Cleveland Browns fan took quite a toll on Elpresador. He took the anger out on everyone involved with the Browns, from the board to the coach to the players. He liked to hone his anger towards the quarterback at the time, Colt McCoy. He really didn't like Colt McCoy.
The thought thought of Colt McCoy for another year is the thought of being burned in hell. I cannot go with Colt McCoy for one more year. Colt McCoy, I'm done. I'm fucking done with it. I can't take this shit. He brings out, for all intents purposes, a concussed Colt McCoy. This kid is not the answer. I've been saying all year. And even if he wasn't concussed, he would have still threw an interception. Why? We keep going with Colt McCoy, and I can't take it.
He still hates the Browns to this day. It seems like that hatred would last the rest of his life. I don't know much about the NFL, but it would seem like the Browns are a really bad team and won't win anything for the remainder of Elpresador's life. Elpres started doing NFL picks in the chair too. Most of them were wrong though, so don't take any tips off of him.
I predict the blowout myself. The New England Patriots, 41, the New York Giants, 24. That's my prediction.
Alongside those NFL picks, he starts doing Premier League picks, and his pronunciations of teams is dismal, especially my team. A lot of Americans can't say it properly, but his is probably the worst I've ever seen.
Tottenham. Tottenham, they're at home against Norwich, and I gotta be honest with you, Norwich is gonna probably put down a beating on Tottenham.
He hates association football because the people that play it aren't big enough. Any sport that isn't American football, Elpresador hates on.
You fat American. You fat American. Let me just throw soccer out of the fucking window right now. You got a bunch of petite men running around in shorts that are a strange gene away from being females. I mean, them guys that play soccer, you can put them in dresses. They're 170-pound men running around kicking a fucking ball around, and you call it football.
Speaking of football, we get given some backstory about the Manic Rager and his days of being a high school prodigy. Elpresador tells us how he was a high school football prodigy at Cleveland St. Ignatius. Have a listen.
Previous background? I was a defensive end at Cleveland St. Ignatius, won 2 state championships. What more do you need to know?
No, I played at Cleveland St. Ignatius when I was younger. I was a 215-pound defensive end in Cleveland. Hey, in high school, I was a 215-pound defensive end.
I tried to find the roster for the football team, called the Wildcats, but I couldn't find any rosters between 88 to 90. They did reach DC double champ status in 88 to 90 though, which is a bit of a niche thing to know, so I doubt he was lying about being on the roster. After high school, he tells us that he was given a scholarship at Syracuse University, and then later dropped out because of some problems.
I was at Syracuse University. I had a scholarship there. What more do you need to know?
I was a defensive end at Cleveland St. Ignatius in my early years in, my only year in college, because I got a lot of trouble.
I thought it might be because of an injury he had, but later down the line, he pretty much tells us the reason for his downfall, which was alcohol. It seems he used to get crippled by the stuff. He has multiple DUIs, says he had an assault charge from beating bouncers, gotten into multiple car wrecks, as seen by this story here.
Alcohol got me in a lot of problems when I was younger. A lot of problems. 2 DUIs. I should have had 100,000 of them because every time I went out, I was drunk. I come home, my car smashed. I'm scratching myself on the head like, what the fuck happened? Not to mention, I got a lot of fights, man. I beat a lot of ass in the fucking when I was drunk, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. If someone looked at me when I was drunk, I was a violent motherfucker. I'm not a nice guy to begin with. Well, I am a nice guy, but I mean, I'm just not the easiest person to get along with. But when I was drinking, man, I was a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
From what I can tell, he started drinking at 13 and didn't really stop until 2004. When he got 3-day hangovers and couldn't be bothered to deal with that, so he just stopped. Another reason for his drinking might have been due to the mental challenge that he faces, manic depression, also known as being a bipolar person.
You know, Charlie Sheen, you thought this name would never come. Me being probably the same person, basically, because we suffer from bipolar, manic depression, whatever. See, I suffer from the same thing. I cross the line, and you know what we do? We use it as an excuse that we got problems. I realize what you're going through. You crossed that line. You couldn't come back. I've done it before. Me personally, medication makes me very tired. It's a weird disease. You'll go through highs that are the greatest highs in the world, and then you just go through lows. You don't want to leave your house, this and that. It happened. But me, I can actually manage my mind to make myself feel manic at any given time. It's just something in me. It's crazy. Like right now, I'm not in a manic stage, but I feel like one. It's just what I do. I can turn it on and off.
He says a lot of the time that he's almost constantly manic, which may be the reason for the continual rage, the lack of care for hateful comments, and constantly winding people up, making them dance. Maybe the drink quelled the manic states, maybe it didn't. He admits that he's a prick multiple times, being like a cancer almost.
I was a bad apple wherever I played. I ain't gonna lie to you, I was a cancer in the clubhouse. I was.
We see that in effect a bit later on down the line, as he calls his friend over, and he tries to ignore Elpresador, but it doesn't work.
People don't like me, but like I say, where I'm from, they see me that don't like me, they put a fake smile on their face so they don't get beat up. That's just how it is, man.
49ers suck! They suck! Hey! What up? Come here! What's up, bruh? You don't remember me, bruh?
His manic state makes him come across as brash almost, saying that he represents all that is good and evil. He's like a prime Dexter in that regard.
I think I'm kind of mental because I say I represent all that's good and evil. I would never harm innocent people. But I want murderers, rapists, child molesters. I would like to harm them people. Tonight's the night.
Jesus fucking Christ, you're the Bay Harbor Butcher.
Because of the Dexter parallels, wanting to hurt bad people, many people in the comments started to call him the Youngstown Slasher or the Cleveland Killer. It's unclear as to when he became diagnosed with bipolar. He never says when that happened, but it may have been accelerated by some form of head trauma. As you can see, whenever Elpresador removes the Patriot beanie, he has a big scar on the back of his head. He mentions in passing that he was shot 4 times, and which is the reason for the scar.
No, I've been shot 4 times. I got one in the back of my head still. That's why I got that big mark there.
Being shot 4 times is a bit nuts. He must have been a real aggressive drunk for that to happen. This could be a lie though, as we don't see any major gunshot scars whenever he takes his shirt off. Manic depression doesn't seem to be the only challenge that he faces. It seems he might also be dyslexic because of some wildly misspelt titles. Have a look at these.
He shouldn't be doing that dyslexic business. Fucking mixing up vowels and diphthongs, mixing them all up. He shouldn't be doing it. No, where does he live?
Soon enough, we find out who Elpresador really is. From multiple clips of him working and interacting with others, his name gets dropped a few times. Elpresador himself says that his name is James in this clip, but that pause would suggest it would be a lie.
James, bro.
His real name would seem to be Chucky.
You're just a beast.
Just the beast at everything I do, Chuck.
Who's probably better than Jerry Rice?
Chuck.
This is my crazy friend, Chucky.
About 5 years later, he reveals his surname to be Martin when suggesting that he should be Trump's running mate.
Man, you, Trump, and Martin. What a fucking ticket. Think about that.
Chucky Martin of Youngstown, Ohio. Chuck previously mentions that he has a daughter, which turned out to be a lie. However, he does actually have a child, a son, who goes by the name of my son.
Hi, I'm Elpresador's son.
Whenever Chucky gets bored of producing Call of Duty commentaries, he starts trolling in the lobbies, pretending to be a kid, who he calls his son. These trolling videos do the second best in terms of numbers behind the rage commentaries. He has a few things that he says when he's his son. My daddy is a Call of Duty commentator.
My daddy's a Call of Duty commentator. My daddy's a Call of Duty commentator. Don't be mad, my daddy's a Call of Duty commentator. My daddy's a Call of Duty commentator.
1 versus 1 me then.
1 versus 1 me after the game if you're so good. You 1 versus 1 me, I'll beat you. 1 versus 1.
I'm not your daddy.
Yeah, I'm not fucking your daddy.
When I was going through these, the memories of severe racism came flooding back, especially in the MW2 lobbies. The trolling videos are full of racist responses towards Chucky's son.
My daddy's Call of Duty commentator.
Hey, my dad can't be shooting again for a living.
Well, now what are you saying that bullshit for?
I've been called white trash. I've been called forgetting my whole life.
You're just like every other junkie, dude. You think you're so badass, but you're
man,
not.
you call me over Xbox Live, really?
From these videos too, we get the first noise, which comes from his son on the 21st of December 2012. Take a listen.
Gunga Ginga. Gunga Ginga. Gunga Ginga.
Translation, I'm gonna destroy you guys.
As you can hear, it starts off as him pretending to speak a different language, and then evolved to be some kind of vocal stim, as you'll get to hear later down the line. From that point forwards, pretty much all of his videos include the noise. One of the funniest ones from the Sun videos are when he pretends to sing a song.
Oh, you're singing a song for me, ain't you? I got a song too. Gunga Ginga.
Chuck also used it to come across as having a multiple personality disorder, constantly switching voice between the Sun and himself.
Fox 360s
for nerds.
PlayStation
3.
Don't you ever
Don't talk to me that way. Don't you ever
talk to me that way.
You bow
before it's on.
You bow before
What's that?
You guys want to play Battlefield 3 later, right?
I'll play it later if you
want to play it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll play it.
Another character that is formed from trolling is the Irish Iranian, a guy called Adishi Malishi, who has a strong accent and spells out respect every time he gets a kill.
Who am I? My name is Adushi Malishi. I'm an Irish Iranian. I'm here to take you hostage.
After like 5, 6 fucking times.
R-E-S-P-S-E-T.
Dude, shut the fuck up. So you don't give a fuck about birds.
R-E-S-P-S-E-T.
The Irish Iranian was seldom seen compared to the Sun trolling videos. Speaking of trolls, Elpresador had a collab lined up with one of the most hated troll-looking blokes on the internet, Keemstar. Keemstar used to be part of a channel on YouTube called Halo A-Holes, and then cut himself off from that to become Killer Keemstar, and later on, drama alert.
Ah, people.
The collab between Keemstar and Elpresador never came out, but Chucky did 1v1 him on COD at one point.
You're no good at this game. It's bullshit. You have to use a hack to beat me.
I'm dodging and weaving.
My YouTube channel is Elpresador. You're recording this, right?
UAV on standby.
Oh, fuck.
Throughout the trolling videos, he coins a new catchphrase,
Boys!
and uses the word puppet master and dance quite a lot as well. Speaking of puppetry, Chuck debuts his biggest puppet act around the start of 2013. His puppet, whom he calls Pow Pow.
I can't fucking hike anymore.
For controlling the map area, I should say not camping. Oh my god, he's doing a pow move. Tell you something about Pow Pow. I won't do it. I won't fucking do it.
Let's get to it. This character is meant to be Wings of Redemption, if you couldn't tell. You may be asking, what made him turn against Wings of Redemption? The guy that he used to call a beast and wanted to uplift? Well, Wings performed one of the biggest sins in the book of Elpresador. Camping. Wings of Redemption camped in his gameplay videos, and being a big influence within the Call of Duty community at the time, Chucky thought that Wings had basically encouraged the entire community to camp and pegged Wings as the source from which his most hated enemies came from.
And you sit there looking, man, this dude only got like 30-some thousand subs, man. And then you watch a guy that sits in a room with claymores on the top, saying, "So boy, camper, I'll sit in this room right now and camp. I got my scavenger on, and they want to come up. I'll just keep killing them with my claymores and shit." Come on, man. Wings of Redemption wanted to be on my friends list. He told me after the message, he says, watch somebody gave me his channel, and says, I make Call of Duty videos, whatever, commentaries. I was, what the fuck commentaries? And although they were insightful and knowledgeable, I was never so bored in my life.
Quite simple, really. From that point forwards, the hatred of Wings spirals out of control. Take a listen to some of the stuff he says about him.
Committing a career suicide here. I know it's a career suicide there. He's too good to go back to work. Guy's like 27 years old and he's miserable.
Their favorite star is basically done. And they realize after 5 minutes of YouTube fame is over, they get desperate. And they try to latch on to whatever's hot, whatever hot topic could be.
You are the easiest puppet to make fucking dance. Oh my god.
Wings saw Chuck pulling his strings and decided to speak about Chucky on his own podcast, which included a co-host of FPS Russia, a name that I'm sure many of you have not heard in a while. This was the real turning point in the war against Wings, with Chucky hounding him, calling him a slob, useless, and an unemployed beggar. This is only the start of the hatred for Wings. It gets worse later on. He said some other things about other creators too, and they both turned out to be a bit wrong in hindsight. Take a listen.
Shane Dawson. And what do you know? He don't piss no one off.
Only use my blade in fisticuffs. Well, it's quite simple. Those are my boys. I like them too.
Pow Pow was one of the first IRL trolling or puppetry acts that Elpresador performed. Many more are still to come. Alongside the COD trolling, there was real life trolling too, be that towards members of the public or trying to wind up his own viewers. Whilst filming a video in his car, he talks about how much he hates other content creators saying like and favourite my videos. He has an insane lock-in during the video. Take a look.
Oh yeah, like my video, like never before, like my video, oh yeah, like my video, like my video.
I don't know what came over him there. Maybe it was the bipolar in him playing up. He soon enough leaves his car and goes out on the prowl to wind up other citizens, faking Tourette's or being obnoxious for a laugh.
You walk? You ever have a... You walk? They have Master Forge one there. Yeah. They have a...
What is it?
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter?
I need peanut butter.
He likes to release a Ginga in a Walmart and do a drive-by Gunga every so often. Whilst out in public, he interacts with some recurring characters in the Chuck Martin multiverse. They include the Master, the Bengals fan, the Cameraman, JTG and the 49er. He doesn't ever mention them by their actual names, he always refers to them as the previously mentioned names. The one that he interacts with most is the 49er, who I previously displayed when mentioning people putting on a facade around Chuck. Chuck and the 49er only really talk about sports, but what I found funny is every time without fail, Chuck asks him how big he is and how much he weighs.
Dude, I want to see your muscle, bro, come on. Holy shit, look at that blob of fat. How much you weigh about?
You definitely get older. You're definitely getting older. About 248.
I'm
What are you?
I'm about 280.
What do you weigh now? About 160?
Really good. He was a free agent this year, so they got him.
What do you weigh now?
Who, me?
Yeah.
If you couldn't tell, Chuck has a pretty big ego when it comes to his size. You'll hear him say 6'2", 200 and something whenever he's talking about himself.
Those stats, I give a fuck on my vitals. 6'2", 240.
6'2", 262 pounds of solid muscle.
6'2" and a quarter, 242-pound man looks like.
Now, that off my massive 48-inch chest, 52-inch chest, whatever you want to call it.
Around 2012-ish, the trend of challenge videos arose on YouTube, be that the Cinnamon Challenge, the Sprite and Banana Challenge, or the Salt and Ice Challenge, and so on and so on. Elpresador, ever evolving to the evolving taste of the YouTube algorithm, decided to hop on that trend. Not doing the previously stated trends though, but creating his own trends, like the Banana Challenge, the Baby Carrot Challenge, the Milk Challenge, and even the 5 mini wheats in less than a minute challenge. In all of these videos, he appears to choke on whatever's being eaten. Unfortunately, the challenges that he made didn't go viral unlike the others. To carry on with trolling, Chuck makes a video series called Why I'm Better Than You at Life. He starts the video in the middle of 2013 to wind up his haters, saying that he's bigger than them, smarter than them, being the master of puppets. In this, he also talks about how he made it on TV 3 separate times, saying that he's broken free from the YouTube niche and is now a Hollywood star. Ooh, Hollywood star.
I've hit the national television waves. I mean, I'm on Taj, Zero, whatever the show's called, this and that. But I've hit the millions and millions and billions of people that watch shit while these other guys are cartoons. You want to be on my level of television success, but you will never be on that level. Look, we can all be on these internet shows, this and that, and act like we're famous. But in reality, what are you famous for? Being a cartoon for little kiddies. While I'm sitting there broadcasting prime time. I am in public domain, name known throughout the land.
Good luck getting the sap off your jacket, tough guy.
He was on Tosh.io, some science program, and MTV's Ridiculousness. All 3 times were because of the tree felling. There was also a 4th time on WWE when Mark Henry starts doing the Puppet Master, the same as Elpresador does. Puppet Master was around before Elpresador started doing it, but I'm assuming they copied it off Elpresador because Elpresador was big for doing it.
This is y'all right here, dancing.
Throughout his entire catalogue of videos, Chuck mentions his dream of wanting to make it in Hollywood, wanting to be on 2.5 Men, or any TV show or movie for that matter, saying that he'll even work for free.
If I get in Hollywood, it don't matter, because I'm entertaining. I'm entertaining.
I can play any role right now in Hollywood. You don't have to typecast me this and that. I can play any role out there right now. I'm so much farther advanced than most of these actors out there today. It's unbelievable. I want to be in the movie right now. Put me in The Rock out there. I'll be his brother, this and that. They kidnap his ass. I gotta save his ass. Put me there. I am the only true movie star that YouTube's ever seen. We could have wrote my self-edit as some type of maybe crazy uncle of Charlie Sheen or whatever his name was on the show. Something you could have written me in the script because obviously I have talent and I am one of the greatest entertainers in the history of YouTube and greatest performers on YouTube. I am the GOAT. But anyway, if you need to write me in your script, Charles Lord, Mr. Lord, I should say, email me. I can turn it on and off. I can act more civilized than Charlie Sheen.
But I'm offering you a chance of a lifetime. A chance to put me in one of your movies right now free of charge. I'll work for free for my first movie.
Maybe that's why he makes these rage videos, to audition his range of emotions for any director looking to hire him. Elpresador is yet to make it in Hollywood. A lot of his IRL trolling isn't that bad, but there's one that nearly causes the fight to break out in a video called The Definition of Pushing Buttons.
I'm gonna tell the fucking truth.
Gunga Ginga, Gunga Ginga, Gunga Ginga.
Nobody.
Gunga Ginga, Gunga Ginga.
Oh, thanks, bro.
Gunga Ginga, Gunga Ginga. Gunga Ginga, Gunga Ginga, Gunga Ginga.
You wanna get that fucking camera away from me before I fucking break it?
What you gonna do about it? Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. You're gonna do nothing. You're gonna do nothing. You're gonna do nothing.
I think that might be the loudest I've ever heard anyone shout. That's probably the most controversial bit of puppetry that Elpresador has performed, but it's nowhere near the most controversial thing that he's done. Right, the list of controversial things that Elpresador has done is quite big, a lot of them involving some form of racism. To start off, he drops the M-word every now and then. The first one he drops is in a Black Ops commentary, just a subtle slip up.
Be advised what? Fuck, I don't give a fuck what's incoming. Be advised this nigga.
But the worst ones are where he tries to justify it, saying that it's fine because he isn't using a hard R.
Alright, my second. Alright, my second. You see, second is different than nigga. Alright? You say nigga, it's fine. But if you say nigga, you construed as a racist.
It's weird because he doesn't seem to come across as racist, and he doesn't like people who are racist.
I've been called white trash, I've been called a nigger my whole life. I don't give a flying fuck. Racism doesn't affect me.
He states that people who try to justify it by saying they have a black friend are idiots, but Chuck still says it, with his excuse being that he has a black nothing.
I got a black sister. You ever hear that? People, they get called racist, they got a black mother, black sister. I ain't got a black nothing, but I will say this.
Remember his son that we saw earlier? Well, that isn't his only son. He also has a black son. Take a look at this.
I'm Elpresador's other son. I'm his black son. And being the only black member of the family, I'm gonna tell you how it is right now. Because I hate going to look at them old white people's houses, big ass houses anyway. And my brothers, it's no secret I'm home better than y'all. My daddy got a fucking Battlefield 4 ready to shit. Put 3 videos up on them, touch game again, probably take it back today. Ever, and I mean ever, question my daddy's intentions or integrity about video games. Like my daddy don't give a flying fuck about Call of Duty dokes, whatever the fuck it is. And he certainly ain't getting the goddamn game early. Boys! For the whore! My daddy's a beast.
This isn't the only time that he's done blackface. He does it a few more times a bit later down the line. He used to do blackface on Vine too. His reason for doing blackface is strange. Well, not reason, but more of a justification. He says that he does it because mimes do whiteface, but the majority of mimes are white. Yeah, a bit crazy, innit?
What the fuck is so bad about blackface? How come white people don't get all fucking upset when the mimes are in Central Park with the white face? I don't get it. It's a fucking costume. I don't see anything wrong with it. The guy had blackface on. Whoa. What? I don't get it.
All of his justifications for the racist remarks go along these lines. One black person has said something bad about a white person, so why can't I do the same? When a black person gets killed by a white man, it oftentimes gets covered in the national media, like the George Zimmerman trial. Elpresador does not like how this got so much coverage in comparison to, say, a black on white crime, and posts black on white crime figures in response to the coverage. I don't know, to, I suppose, balance it out in his eyes. The stuff he says in these videos is pretty controversial, but a lot of it isn't racist. It's just him trying to make a point about nothing really, forcing ignorance just for the sake of it. Some of the points he tends to make are quite hypocritical. He says that George Zimmerman should be given a fair trial, but Chucky himself has an ability to find people guilty just by looking at them. Have a look.
Will there be justice for Zimmy right now in this country? Will he be given a right to a fair trial? I don't think he will. I was on jury duty before. I got kicked out the one time, I almost started a joke because I was going off, I didn't want to be there. And the second time, I came out and flat out told the judge, if I don't like the looks of somebody, I'm going to find them guilty. Or if I like the looks of somebody, I'm going to find them innocent. They dismissed me from the jury right away. People are innocent until proven guilty in this country without even knowing the facts of the case, but they want to find them guilty already. If I don't like the looks of somebody, I'm going to find them guilty.
I think that the reason for these kinds of videos is that he got too deep in the constant Twitter racist bits that are still abundant to this day. However, Chucky seems to actively seek out these wars on his own Twitter, just to get into racial debates with people on X to justify his own racial remarks. He seeks out a racial attack just so he can respond with a flurry of his own racial attacks, as we'll see later on in the video. He talks about homosexuals too, saying that they should be kept away from straight people.
You want to be in our fucking heterosexual community. You're not. You are gay. You got to be in a gay community. You guys are different. You just got to accept it. You got your own little community. So be in that. And quit forcing yourself upon us, seriously. You want to be like us. You want to be associated with us. And the bottom line is, we don't even recognize you. What don't you understand about that? You're never going to be like us. Don't force yourself on a straight beast community. Rainbow, you obviously want to be like us.
Another controversial thing that he's done is promoting a nonce YouTuber on his own channel. Back in the day, it was quite common for YouTubers to upload videos onto other users' channels in the goal of sharing an audience and gaining more subscribers. The Elpresador channel was no different. Another YouTuber called Redbeard uploaded a Call of Duty commentary onto the Elpresador channel, which was normal, but the stuff he says is quite noncy. Have a listen.
And thanks to the women's gymnastics all-around finals today, I spent most of my lunch punishing my crotch in the bathroom at work. Just get butt-ass naked. But if you had naked gymnasts, I guarantee your scores would be twice as high. I know them girls are 16. I'm 29 years old. Them little girls 16 years old. It's a good thing I ain't living in my neighborhood. Chris Hansen be knocking at my door.
Very noncy, to say the least. I don't know why you would say this. It's not funny, maybe trying to be edgy, but admitting you're a nonce doesn't really come across well. That's the end of the main controversies for now, but there is one quite substantial thing that Elpresador says, which is similar to the end of the first segment. Take a listen.
See, I tell you why I do this. I do this strictly for the money. Once the money's gone, I won't even do this no more. I can care less. YouTube is dead to me.
If it wasn't for the money, you wouldn't see me fucking upload another video ever again.
People want me to play video games, right? I'm done. I'm done playing video games, man. You gotta understand something. If I would have got the allotted amount of views that I require, yes, I would have played them. I'm not gonna force myself to sit down and play a video game for 10,000 views. Ain't gonna do it. All great things come to an end. But we do this because we love to? No, I've always done it for the money. YouTube is boring.
It doesn't come across well from a fan's point of view, with them being seen purely as a source of income, but as we've seen throughout, Mr. Martin simply doesn't care about what people think. I initially thought that Elpresador was doing these controversial takes for attention, as he says that he's only on YouTube for the money, and saying and doing a lot of stuff like we just saw tends to get clicks, but he does this a lot more frequently on his own Twitter, where there's no money to be made. So the stuff that he says seems to be genuine and not an act, unlike some of the puppetry acts that he's performed so far, like the console war. This is exactly how the last segment ended, but now he doesn't seem to have anything else lined up, unlike the last time where he had commentaries. But since the commentaries have died out and Chucky doesn't want to do them anymore, he needs to pull something else out of his arse to keep up with YouTube's ever-changing tastes if he wants to stay in the limelight. Well, unfortunately for him, he doesn't pull anything out and falls out of the limelight a little bit. He starts to go back to his old style of videos, with most of the videos from this point forwards being rants, but in his car, as the iconic chair breaks.
As an ode to the iconic chair breaking, I thought I'd show you Chuck Martin's morning routine before he starts ranting in that chair. Have a look. I live in the state of Ohio, more specifically, Youngstown, near Cleveland. My name is Chucky Martin. I'm 56 years old. I believe in taking care of myself, and a balanced diet, and a rigorous exercise routine. In the morning, if my face is a little puffy, I'll drink a coffee while doing my controller throws. I can do 1,000 now. After I drink my coffee, I drink even more coffee. In the shower, I use whatever piece of soap I can get my hands on. Then, a splash of water on the armpits. And the face? Well, there's nothing for that. Then, apply a red ring of death facial mask, which I leave on for 10 minutes while I prepare the rest of my routine. I always use an aftershave lotion with little or no alcohol, because alcohol dries your face out and makes you look like Wings of Redemption. Then a fingerful of chewing tobacco, followed by a shaving of the head. There is an idea of a Chucky Martin, some kind of abstraction, but there is no real me, only a biblical beast, something illusory. And though I can hide my cold gaze, and you can shake my hand and feel flesh gripping yours, and maybe you can even sense our lifestyles are probably comparable, I simply am not there.
What happens from this point forwards is the start of the fall off for him, not only in terms of numbers, but also financially and in terms of mental stability, a part of which was weirdly caused by the fostering of stray cats. Around the September of 2015, Chucky starts making videos about stray cats, seeing as he doesn't really care to make videos for anyone but himself, which is fair enough I suppose, it's his own channel. He becomes more of a vlogger as opposed to a ranter though from this point forwards, but the rants aren't completely dead. The first cat that he came to foster is a calico which he called Chinky or Schofield or Beast. The cat is a bit mangy when he first takes it in, and asked for donations to get it fixed. This is the first time that Elpresador has asked for donations, but will ask for more a bit later down the line. He ends up getting enough donations to get the cat fixed, and will be the first of many cats that he will foster. Chuck doesn't seem to come across as a caring person, saying that he is a cancer and states multiple times that he hates people. He comes across as the opposite when it comes to animals though. Take a listen to how he responds when talking about a cat he ran over.
Poor little beast. I'm burying him. Hit him on the way to work. I'm very fucking upset. Not happy. Let rest him in fucking peace, God.
It's strange, isn't it, how a man who hates everything and everyone, wanting to see people die, can be so touched when it comes to animals. This side of him, the good side of him, would come to be his downfall, as later down the line, he has over 10 cats at once and spends nearly $300 a week just on cat food to see the animals not suffer. Just take a look at how much cat food he has on his shelf, and when he goes to the supermarket, look how much food he buys. Those of you who own a cat know how expensive the wet food can be, but on top of that, Chuck takes most of them to the vets if they get really sick. From this, we can see that Chuck Martin isn't a complete soulless, puppeteering, uncaring nothing that he labels himself to be. He has some compassion at least. Despite the move to vlogging, the rants are still very much there, and the ones about sports are still alive. With the Browns being the same old, Elpresador gives the same old hate to them, with Chuck getting his most viewed video about sports during a hate rant towards Mike Patine, the then head coach. Take a listen.
You suck! Fuck Manziel! You went fucking backwards! You fucking suck! Fuck you! Got the hiccups. They fucking suck! Peyton Manning is garbage! Mike Patton, I fucking hate you and you're fucking... Fuck! You fucking suck, Patton. What the fuck are you going for 2 for, you fucking moron? Time is running the fuck out! Fuck you, Mike Patton! Fuck you, you fat fucking slob! You suck! Patton, I hate your fucking face. I hate Patton, I hate looking at your face. I swear to God, I hate your motherfucking face. I wish a ravaged fucking disease would just come overtake your fucking body. I hate you.
This was probably the most hateful one yet, wishing cancer on Patine, hoping the whole association dies. It gets bad. The cycle with the Browns continues forever, with the head coach getting fired, a new one coming in, Elpresador getting hyped, especially when Hugh Jackson came in, and eventually turning on whoever he feels like, because the Browns are woeful.
I got 3 words for you Cleveland Browns fans. Hugh program, nigga! AFC North lockdown, nigga! The goddamn dismal performances that we've had in the past are no longer around. Hugh Jackson is a buffoon. He's a fucking clown.
The same goes for the quarterbacks as well, be that Colt McCoy, Baker Mayfield, RG3. He loves them at first, calling them studs, and then he wishes death upon them.
The Browns have themselves a superstar in the making right now. Baker Mayfield will be a stud superstar. He's a fraud. You're a fraud, Baker. He's a shot quarterback. The Browns need to move on from him.
Speaking of sports, Chuck gets a new character to talk on his behalf about his old sports career, but not football, boxing.
How great was I? How much bad did I dominate the Tough Man contest?
Chuck, yes, you did. You could talk to John Mills. He still talks about this.
Does he really?
He still talks about you knocking that guy out. Everybody all over him.
Like he was like Tyson.
You hit him with a left.
And just he was out.
Oh. Chuck,
hey,
it was one of the best punches I've ever seen.
You know what to say?
I know you too.
195 I was. He was 230 and I destroyed him.
Yes, you did.
I would have been the greatest, whitest fucking fighter ever.
You were always one of the best athletes in this area.
You know what it was? Alcohol was my downfall.
Yeah.
Tough Man is a boxing tournament founded in 1979 for amateur boxers to field their talents against other amateur boxers in front of a drunken crowd in Cleveland, Ohio, where at the time there was no protective headgear, just a mouthguard. Coming up against a guy who was 30 pounds bigger than you and knocking him out is quite impressive, especially in the novice boxing circuit where most people will swing for the trees heavily. Given that Chuck seemed to fight there on a regular as per the story from the new character, who only appears twice in the Elpresador multiverse, it is possible that Chuck might have CTE. He even worries about that himself.
Now, I think I have CTE because I've been punched in the head a lot.
The scar on his head might also be linked to the Tough Man boxing events, given that it's unlikely he's been shot in the head. The scar looks more like a massive gash as opposed to a gunshot wound. Talking of being a tough man, Chuck tells us an unhinged story of him wanting to get robbed at an ATM.
I look at some white dude with a hat on, big dude, right? Look like a fucking bum. Look like he was up to no good. Look like a thief, actually, right? Whatever. I just sat there and waited, and he was behind me, like about maybe 5 yards, like waiting. It looked like he was gonna try and rob me, and I just sat there waiting, like daring him to. It was fucked up. Me, honestly, it's weird. I wanted him to, right? I just can't explain it. It's like I wanted him to rob me for some fucked up reason. Because in my mind, I look at a dude. This is the honest guy. So if I'm blind, I'm dying, I'll get cancer and die, whatever. I look at a dude, and I said, I'll be able to evade this dude's gun, and I'll beat the fuck out of him. It's fucked up.
That's bad, but he said he put a piece in his mouth when he was in his 20s, which is a very, very unhinged thing to do.
Before, a long time ago, years ago, I did put a gun in my mouth and tell the motherfucker to pull the trigger. But that was years ago when I was mentally ill.
Chuck seems to always picture things in his head, where most things play out violently, be that him wanting to get robbed and beating a man who held him at gunpoint, or wanting to smash a man within an inch of his life because he didn't say thanks to Mr. Martin for holding the door open for him.
And doesn't even acknowledge me. I'm sitting there in my mind, I'm just staring, and I'm debating in my mind. Should I walk in there and just spit in his fucking face and walk out? I pray to God, this fat pile of shit has a fucking heart attack. I hold the door open, you just look at me and don't even say nothing. That fucking guy's a bitch. It took me a lot to refrain from attacking that motherfucker. It took me a lot, it really did, it took me a lot.
Most of us play out violent situations in our own heads, that could be similar to this, but nearly all of us aren't as vocal about it as he is, and don't wish that they did play out or regret not starting violence in retaliation for the small things. He doesn't seem to care for consequence, where most of us would come to terms with the reality of these situations, seeing that they would either end up not going how we thought, or seeing the consequences that would arise if they did play out. This again shows us the extremely rash nature of Chuck Martin. Chuck begins to double down on the fact that he will not pander to kids and has moved away from Call of Duty commentary.
Frankly, I can't stand doing commentary.
He truly believes that COD is for children and does not want that to be his audience. For a man who calls himself the untrollable puppet master,
I can take anything anyone says to me.
he seems to care a lot about his audience. He states again that he will only make Call of Duty videos if the money is guaranteed. But it gets to a point where the cats have drained him dry, and so he makes a compromise for money. He will stream Call of Duty, but only if people donate on a regular basis.
I'm gonna stream some Call of Duty in an effort to try to regroup some money.
But if I go do all the appropriate measures to play that game, will people watch it and will people donate? If I'm gonna get donations, I'll play the game. But I'm not gonna get donations, I'm not gonna even do it. Depending on the type of donations I get, I may keep streaming, who knows? I don't play video games, but like I say, if I'm gonna make some kind of capital, maybe I will keep streaming.
This guy's a bit nuts, but you can't say that he isn't brutally honest. That honest expression of ideas is a bit of a downfall when it comes to hypocrisy and irony. Chuck oftentimes speaks about things that he doesn't like. That includes the fact that people watch Angry Grandpa despite it being all an act.
An old guy tearing up his house, it's all a act, yet there are people that still watch it religiously and find it entertaining. I kid you not, I don't get it! If you know it's all an act, how is the same thing over and over entertaining? It don't make any sense.
Yet, a lot of his own content isn't genuine, and his own subscribers watch that. Chucky's ego is still there throughout all the videos, being 6'2", 245 pounds, being a beast for his age. It leads to him hating on people that aren't as athletic as him for their age, saying that fat people should be euthanized after a certain age.
If you're a slob at 60, bottom line is you've been a slob your whole fucking life, you probably should be euthanized.
People with dietary issues should be deported.
Because if I have to be penalized on gluten-free food because of some people that can't eat glutton, then you know what, move out of our country.
Old people are arseholes, and the list goes on. Speaking of people who are a bit chungus, the hatred for Wings of Redemption returns. It starts off with the usual hatred, you know, calling them fat, and it has been, but it leads to something a bit hypocritical. Wings started to ask for donations for his weight loss surgery in Mexico, a gastric bypass, to get into shape and avoid health complications. Chucky called him a beggar.
You have to dance for the bottom dollar.
Yet Chuck himself has asked for donations multiple times, but not with a goal in mind, but just to play Call of Duty. Another thing is that Chuck turns his comments off around 2015 because the comments are starting to get to him.
I got some straight-laced ass niggas saying I did it for attention. You straight so I think I'm gonna disable the comments in my fucking videos for the simple fact is this. I have a bunch of fucking social rejects. What if I just take it down again just to punk up these straight social reject losers? And I'm like, I could care less what you say. And I got some straight-laced saying I did it for attention. And I'm like, I could care less what you say, saying I did it for attention.
But he takes the piss out of Wings for turning his own comments off.
They're all gonna laugh at you. I don't care what you say about me, but a certain individual may care about that. They get ridiculed, called out, and they can't take it. They turn off certain things. You see what I'm saying?
Wings also gets swatted. Chuck responds by saying that Wings is too easy to get to and should be banned off the internet.
This man should not be allowed on the internet. I mean, I hate to say this, but he should not be allowed on the internet. He cannot handle trolls. He feeds into them. He doesn't know how to deal with them. But Wings, you should not be allowed on the internet. By the way, why are you at 49 years old and I look so goddamn good? Hey, any kids out there watching, if you got a hot mother, send them my way.
Chuck later brings up that Wings threatened to kill him on Twitter a while back because the puppetry was too much for him.
Remember when I mind fucked you so bad I had you threaten to kill me?
Despite Chucky being one of the most rash characters on the internet, he didn't actually retaliate to this on his rants about him, only bringing up the fact that it happened. Wings isn't the only one that Chuck was beefing with. There was another fellow YouTuber who had the same niche as Elpresador back at the start of YouTube, an angry guy who yells at things, a man called Fat Francis, aka Boogie2988. The rage towards Boogie doesn't stem from camping, unlike Wings of Redemption. It seems to come from him being a sorry fat guy who was sad that his wife left him. Take a listen.
You know, you can put on this facade, you're happy you are, and everything's going well now, but the bottom line is, your wife left you. Nothing happened, she didn't cheat on me. You really believe that? We know the real story. You're miserable. You loved her and she just left you hanging. I wonder how Tyrone's doing. But like you though, you deserve to be humiliated publicly.
He also takes the piss out of him for his weight loss surgery too, saying that he took the easy way out.
You may be able to trim some excess skin from your body, but you can't trim ugly.
The puppeteering of Boogie carries on for the rest of Chuck's YouTube career, still making videos to this day. In fact, he creates a new adjective to add to the trolling, an adjective called boogified.
Boogified slob.
Boogie! Boogified slob! 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 Boogified slob!
Anyone who is fat, he calls them boogified something. It's normally boogified slob, but he changes it up on occasion. The Gunga are still very much alive. You get their Christmas album. Drive-by Gungas. Driving Gunga Gingangs. And the Gunga Ginga Collective. The controversial statements about race are still alive too, with him speaking incoherently and dropping the N-word every now and then.
With the petition, man. Get that motherfucker from camp. Grab look at hell, man. We don't need that motherfucker, man. 12-1. I'll take motherfucker right now. Yeah. Let me know, motherfucker, what they want to do. The Browns, get that motherfucker done. That's done.
Backs PewDiePie after the bridge incident.
Just because you say the word Turgan doesn't mean you're a racist. So yeah, I don't think PewDiePie's a fucking racist. There are Turgans and there are white trash motherfuckers, alright?
But it's okay, because Chuck thinks that segregation was a bad thing.
Yeah, that was fucked up how blacks were treated back in the day.
He didn't even know it was a thing until we saw a film that had segregation in it.
Hey, I was watching a movie, Hidden Figures, and I'm gonna tell you something. I didn't know they had white bathrooms and black bathrooms.
Chuck made videos on the Elpresador channel up until the middle of 2018, where he disappeared for 7 years without any mention of changing it up or leaving. He just vanished. I did some investigation and reached out to a supposed long-time fan of Elpresador to see if he could lead me to more footage of Chuck, or maybe even archived footage. Please state your name for the interview and the purpose of this interview, please.
Yo guys, my name is T2Trappy. Follow me on Instagram, that's T2Trappy2, and follow me on SoundCloud, T2Trappy2, same as my Instagram.
And what the interview is about?
I'm a long-time fan of Elpresador, and I'm here to share some input about the guy.
Right, let's begin with an easy one. How long have you been watching Elpresador for?
About a decade, I think. I can't remember the exact time.
As you know, he started off as a rage tuber and was angry at pretty much everything. Have you got a favourite rage moment of his?
The one where he starts smashing up the yard.
Which one would that be?
I don't know, the one where he started smashing up that thing in his hand, the thingy.
Oh, the controller smash. That's a classic. As I told you through the Twitter DMs, I'm trying to make a piece on Elpresador, but I'm a bit of a standstill at the moment. He disappeared around 2018, and I was wondering if you knew.
Do you want to hear some of my music? Yo people, follow my SoundCloud.
If I plug your stuff, will you actually look like you care about this interview and care about what I'm asking you?
Since day one I've been trying to get to the cheese. Stay hustling and grinding for my family, I'm trying to appease. Start relaxing and grinding with my bro skis. I'm smoking these trees. Girls come for the sack, I'm talking about these. She's begging me to put it in like please, please, please. Spring the carpenter, I'm a bar bender, car mender, I'm a mechanic. Man, they see me on the road, they panic. I see the boys in the blue, I adapt moving erratic. They see me pull out.
That's enough of that. I think my audience can make up their own mind about that.
What?
Right, as I was saying, the man who made funny noises disappeared around 2018. Do you know where he went? Did he create a new channel or what?
Oh, that's right, we were talking about that Gunga Ginga guy.
Say again?
Gunga Ginga.
Why are you saying it with a hard R? There's no hard R in Gunga Ginga. Do you even know what Elpresador's real name is? A superfan should know that.
James Smith.
Alright, cheers for that. It was a waste of my time.
You're not going to pay me like you said.
Right, for starters, you've played that shit music and made my ears bleed. You look like you didn't give a fuck during the whole interview. And finally, you didn't actually give me an interview. Right, I'm going.
Follow my SoundCloud real soon. T2Trappy, I'm going to take off.
Right, found it. It's a waste of time. Quantrell Bishop. Fucking hell. What a monumental waste of time that was. Sorry about that. I'll dig a little bit deeper before I interview next time. A lesson learned. Anyways, Quantrell Bishop.
You are the ultimate dancing puppet.
Quantrell Bishop has been around as long as Elpresador, but the amount of content is lesser. We initially see work vlogs and sketches. That's around 2010. The sketches are in black and white and are about the iPhone-Android war. The sketch always ends up with Elpresador and Cameraman getting really close and choking each other out. It looks a bit like a homosexual pornographic film.
Bullshit. Get the fuck out of here. I'm getting it.
Get it?
That's better.
Those sketches and vlogs are few and far between. Chuck only starts to upload frequently on Quantrell Bishop once Elpresador was taken down, as you would expect. The word Quantrell Bishop doesn't seem to have any meaning behind its name, it's just a name, and that's it. Only up until recently, Chuck had always speculated as to why Elpresador had got suspended. He initially thought it was because of a hate video that he made towards FouseyTube.
Think you can figure out why I'm not on my main channel right now? A guy with like 50 million subscribers got mind fucked over a simple video, me pointing out what a retard he is.
And the hate was bad enough for him to get taken down. But it was revealed only a few months ago that it was actually a cat burial video that got it taken down.
The video got taken down. It was buried a dead cat. I don't understand how I got suspended for that, because that was a video that got removed.
The first thing of interest on Quantrell Bishop is the smoking experiment. Chuck used to be hooked on chewing tobacco and managed to get off it after a few months of chewing gum, but decided to get back on the nicotine. For what reason, you may ask? Well, I don't exactly know. I think it was to see if he could resist getting addicted and pass the test with flying colours. It's something to add to the list of many random things that Mr. Martin has done. Chuck would end up back on the chewing tobacco a few months later and started overdosing on nicotine, getting so disorientated they had to lie down. The channel may have changed, but the hate still remains. 2019 seemed to be the biggest year in terms of hate for Wings of Redemption. He gets rinsed to death by Chuck as per usual.
You're being bullied by children. I have a feeling they're going to drive you to commit suicide. That's how bad it is. Your mind's very weak.
I think you need to fucking reevaluate your life. Hold on, let me see. Nah, I just scanned that whole fucking situation. There's 13 women there, they're all ugly.
What has occurred to me is that what he hates most about Wings is the amount of self-pity he displays. Take a listen.
I think that you can do this. Now, you seem to really want to lose weight, Wings.
I believe in you.
I also believe that if you put your mind to it and your fortitude and goddamn test it to, I believe that you can go through with it.
It's bullshit. This guy's like 27 years old and he's miserable. He even said that he was going to commit suicide over being bullied on Twitter. And when his views in his videos don't meet his expectations, he gets suicidal and just doesn't feel like really doing anything else but crying on Facebook. You got adults crying in front of adolescent children, and the children are feeling sorry for him because they don't know any better. They don't know any better. Well, let me tell you something, children. These adults crying in front of you, making you feel generally made more money than your parents combined playing video games.
What really drives that point home is the weight loss surgery. Remember the 49er? He had the same surgery as Wings did, but the 49er managed to lose weight, unlike Wings. Chuck hates on the fact that Wings gives himself excuses for not losing weight. As Chuck has seen his own mate go through the exact same process and lose weight. It's more pent-up frustration as opposed to straight hatred that Chuck has for Wings. But some hate does linger on in there, like the hatred for the way he looks and the car he buys.
You're a failure! You're a fucking failure!
Consequently, why you bought a fucking female car with a salvage title.
Redemption. When you said you were 33 years old the other day, I literally almost shit myself. You look absolutely horrific for 33 years old.
He comes up with a new nickname for Wings too, Argoggle.
Argoggle. That ain't good, Argoggle.
Anyway, ta-ta. Argoggle. Argoggle of redemption.
So, Chuck now has hate towards Wings of Redemption, Boogie2988 and FouseyTube by the sounds of it. There are two more people that have been added to that list in 2019. The first one is SoReal187. SoReal187 is a Call of Duty commentator and is more of an unknown when compared to the others on the puppet list. The beef started like so.
Someone had the nerve to ask me who my greatest puppets were. He's so slob. Never in a million years that I think he danced for 10 years. We did one of these jobs on him. Man, you're a beast. You know, you condescend somebody, and an intelligent person will know what you're doing, but he's like a childlike mind. He thought we were serious. And then we delivered the UVC bombshell on him and just started clowning. I kept making him make video after video on the UVC, and he started doing it. Then he started getting the picture of what I was doing to him, and he's been acting like a scorn puppet ever since.
And the beef snowballed from there, and it goes on, calling him so slob. The other one on the list is an old friend of Chuck's, another Call of Duty commentator, Only Use Me Blade. Only Use Me Blade used to be one of Machinima's biggest creators. with his gimmick being only using a knife to get kills in Call of Duty and making the other team rage for doing so. His YouTube devolution is nearly as bad as Wings of Redemption's, but became an alcoholic who begs on Twitch instead of a chungus man who begs on Twitch. Chuck saw this devolution and told Blade to clean up his act and stay away from Keemstar.
Brian Rizzo knows that I'm telling him the truth. Only Use Me Blade knows I'm telling him the fucking truth. I hope he does clean his act up and stops this goddamn online. He needs to quit drinking, number one. Keemstar used his ass, got him out of there, took him out of his comfort zone, and it was a downward spiral after that. You know I'm right.
He supports him at first, but it will turn to hate later down the line, as always. Speaking of Call of Duty, Chuck gets back into it, but only because fans sent him enough money to buy it and play it. He only releases a few commentaries though. They are full of rage as per usual, but if you listen, he sounds tired and really bored of the game.
Oh my god, I shot him in the fucking head 5 times. I hate this game. It's so fucking lame. I shot that fucking thing 9 fucking times. Oh my god. Oh my god, you camping faggot. God, get stage 4, you fucking pussy. You deserve it, you fucking pussy faggot. Why am I allowed to hit people 9 times? Oh, I gotta go let you fucking straight fucking clear. This map's so fucking gay. Look how big it is. It's a faggot map.
If he kept making those commentaries, he could have made a lot more money, which he has acknowledged several times throughout his career.
All I gotta do is attack that online gaming community again, start playing it. And I guarantee you this, Wins Daniel, Jeremiah, Johnson, Redemption, I would be 15 times bigger than you on Twitch television.
He states that the rage has always been real though, despite a lot of the content on his channel not being genuine.
I can honestly say I never faked it.
Never. I never faked the rageasm.
You know, I never faked a rageasm. You know how women fake orgasms? I never faked a rageasm. Not once. Everything I did was authentic.
What else seems to be genuine is the love for cats. His most loved cat, Albert, dies after being hit by a car and is really upset by it.
Albert was a fucking biblical beast. And I knew he was dead. I just had a bad feeling. This is the worst week of my life, losing Albert. I know it'll get better, but...
He says it was more impactful to him than his own mother dying. It reinforces the point earlier that Chuck has a lot more empathy for animals as opposed to human beings. He blames his neighbour for running the cat over, but cannot get definite proof, so is angry at God for not letting him find the evidence.
And I'm just like, fuck you, God, fucking asshole, it pisses me off. I'm pissed off about it. I'm mad as fuck. Fuck you, God, you should have... Why did I figure this out Thursday? Why couldn't you let me figure this out Tuesday so then I can have the body? Because I don't want this trash can to took the body. But maybe that other guy that was with him who has a dog, maybe he buried him.
He doesn't actually bury the cat because he thinks that his neighbour threw it on the trash and bin collection day. That supposed empathy for cats might not be as strong as I stated. Remember that first cat that he bought in, Chinky/Schofield/Beast? Well, Chuck adds her to the puppet list.
I don't give a fuck if you freeze to death, you fat gutted fucking slob. Fuck that cat. Tired of that fat gutted slob. We'll never go inside again, you fat gutted fucking slob. Chinky, you fat gutted slob. Fucking hate that slob cat.
It's not only Chinky that he hates, he seems to hate the fact that the cat's even entered his life.
If I didn't have these cats, I'd have a great life. Biggest mistake I ever made.
He will reinforce that the cats are a burden a bit later down the line. Moving on from that, we get to July 2019 and a massive shock occurs to Chuck. Goes viral across Twitter and Instagram. It was everywhere and still pops up on my own Explore page from time to time. What makes it so unique is how random it is, I suppose. A guy being outlandish in a supermarket, looking like he has Tourette's to make people look at him and think he's weird. Like, how can a man be so extroverted and not care? And the fact that the noise is strange, almost like he's mocking an Asian language. Chuck never thought that it would blow up, and says he might capitalise on it and go back to a store and do it again.
Now I know what everyone's talking about, the Elpresador famous meme, whatever the fuck it's called. Never in a million years did I think Gunga Ginga would take off. You are now a millionaire and you're unhappy? What world do you live in?
Unfortunately, he doesn't do that, but he does add 2 new sounds to his collection.
If I want to. If I want to.
If I want to boom bopping.
If I want to.
If I want to. If I want to.
The controversial acts still continue, and we start off with Chuck speaking about black privilege. Take a listen.
Black privilege? Black people think they're immune to the racism card.
It will change his definition of black privilege when we reach the rise of BLM around June 2020. He also speaks about the death of Etika, a streamer who jumped off a bridge because he was suffering with heavy mental challenges. Before he came to an end, he was fueled on by an old friend of Chuck's, Keemstar. I won't get into it too much, but all you need to know is that Keemstar was encouraging Etika to be manic and reinforced Etika's manic ideas about how lackluster life can be. Chuck went on to say that Keemstar did nothing nothing wrong and should keep on being really controversial to make money off the nerds who hate on him.
Hey, line your pockets with these nerds' money. You didn't kill nobody. You made a joke about mental health. Who gives a flying fuck? You're trying to explain yourself for a bunch of 9 and 10-year-old nerds.
Anyhow, that's the end of this chapter, and we move on to the penultimate chapter, Corona and the like.
Stop it!
Let's start off with the meat and chips of this part, which is controversy. From this point forwards, Chuck seems to have lost his way, and his mind a bit too. He exclusively uploads rants, with most of them being about the Cleveland Browns, but there are a few others in there too, mostly controversial posts. To start off the controversies, he does not believe in COVID, is anti-mask, and thinks that the Democrats made the virus to destroy Donald Trump. Take a listen.
They brought this COVID on to take Trump down because Trump is such a powerful motherfucker. They're creating fake virus that are giving flus out. They're killing Americans just to get Trump.
This is of course an extremely outlandish take, but I think it's genuine. From 2016 onwards, Chuck has always backed Trump to be his leader, calling him the most powerful man in the world, liking him to God at sometimes. From this, it will be fair to say that Chuck is on the far right of the spectrum, especially when it comes to tradition and the like, given what he has already said about homosexuals and what he will continue to say about it, blaming Canada for bringing that shit into his country.
Canada! Hey, we've already fucked our country up enough with this goddamn LGBT, whatever the fuck that is.
Given how common it is for the far right to have strong feelings about the stuff that Chuck has already brought up, i.e. Trump, COVID and homosexuals, it could be fair to say that he also believes in other far right ideals, like how some races are lesser than others, as if blackface wasn't enough to pin it. With this in mind, we can assume that his thoughts on other races are genuine and aren't just for clicks, unlike a lot of his other videos. This is especially true when it comes to Black Lives Matter. Just have a listen to some of his views on it, and black privilege.
Black Lives Matter, it's just a hate group. Basically, giving all the black racists and the white racists an excuse to go out there and do what they're doing. Burning the statue, they're oppressed. That's their excuse for doing it.
BLM is one of the worst terroristic groups ever. BLM is the equivalent of the KKK, but this is 2020. White privilege is a word made up by racist African Americans. You know what black privilege is? The ability to break any law you want and still be the victim. Black privilege, the ability to be a criminal in a criminal act and have people feel sorry for you.
He gives his own anecdotal evidence when speaking about the matter of this so-called black privilege. He says he stole a truck when he was younger and had to face the music, so why can't these black guys face the music too?
I made a choice years ago to steal a fucking truck. I paid for it. I faced the fucking music. I never gave the police a reason to shoot me.
Just some more strange backstory for you. The same thing goes as before. The media covers the death of a black man a lot more than the death of a white man, and Chuck dances because of it. He believes it to be unfair and retaliates because of it. This is especially true when it comes to George Floyd. I won't include his rant about that in this video because it will definitely get age restricted, but it goes along the lines of Chauvin was innocent and Floyd was bad. He is an all lives matter guy too. Well, it's more like an all lives can get it.
All lives matter! All fucking lives matter!
He drops a few racial slurs towards Asians when giving advice to American business owners. The BLM rants go on and on and on, but I think you get the gist of it now. Moving on from that, we get into the month of May, where Chuck starts golfing. He wanted fans to donate to his PayPal to get enough money to start a golf simulator so that he can make videos on that instead of COD. Nothing much comes of that, but he does play golf in some random field, and the odd course every now and then. Whilst on the course, he mentions his competitive and rash nature, talking about throwing an ashtray at his mate's head.
I got this guy, the same guy I threw an ashtray at after I let him come back. But what I was doing was what we all do. We play smart. We run the clock out. But this motherfucker came back and beat me. I whipped an ashtray right at his fucking head. Didn't talk to him for like 7 fucking years.
But previously said it was an owl statue that he threw, not an ashtray. So this whole incident could be a lie.
I let up on him because I was embarrassing him. I let up on him because I didn't want to humiliate him. And guess what? He came back and won the game, and he started running his mouth afterwards. So I had an owl here. I whipped that motherfucker right at his head. But I ain't seen that dude in about 5 years now. It's been 5 years since he's been over. He won't come around my house, and he won't come around me. He won't even give me his fucking number.
These simple mix-ups and slips, as we've seen throughout, begin to beg the question as to whether we're seeing the genuine Chuck Martin, or is he simply putting on an act for the channel? Speaking of COD, he does actually get back into playing it regularly, but streams it instead of commentating on it. The reason for this is to get donations, and because it's less effort when compared to uploading commentary. These donations mainly come in the form of super chat, which upsets Chuck as he doesn't get the money straight away and Google takes a cut of the revenue. It leads to him cutting off his nose in spite of his face and turns off the super chat to force those who want to donate to his PayPal instead, so he can get instant cash and remove Google's cut. This is a bit ironic or hypocritical, as one of the main hating points towards Wings of Redemption is that he relies on donos for his income. But at this point, around September 2020, Chuck is also relying on donos for his income as he gets fired from his sheet metal job in protest of his wage not being good enough.
I got fired in 2020. This job said I would make $64 an hour, and then the next week it would go down to 41. So I got myself fired on purpose. It took me 9 months to get the unemployment, but once I got it, it was $740 a week for sitting at home for like a year.
Sitting at home collecting taxpayers' money, government, whatever the fuck it is doing you, me, and the rest of the people in America no good. You're costing us money, taxpayers' money.
I'm not saying that the man shouldn't do it. Go ahead, get money. All I'm saying is that it's a bit hypocritical. After that, we get more hatred for Only Use Me Blade, that old friend of Chuck's. He tells us some regrets about the guy and why.
By the way, I'm embarrassed and I'm pissed off that I actually gave this clown a shout out. If I would have known he was going to turn into the biggest drunken loser I've ever seen, I would have never helped him. But anyway.
He has the same frustration towards Blade as he does Wings, saying that he made Only Use Me Blade relevant too, and he would be nothing without him.
Wings of Redemption. You're only relevant because I made you relevant. Nobody knew who you were until I shared your video about 15 years ago on YouTube.
Only Use Me Blade. He begged me 8 years ago to do a commentary for him on his channel, and I did it, and I didn't want to. I was hesitant, and I did it, and his channel blew up after that, and I'm pissed off that I helped him. Because at one time, he was a top channel because of me.
Like many of his so-called puppets, Blade's wife left him for another guy, and apparently died, and Chuck thinks that Blade was the culprit.
Is Only Use Me Blade a murderer? Someone died in his house. The guy who died was dating Blade's ex-linebacker girlfriend. There's motive. I don't think Blade realized that, but Blade's just getting drunk. When is he gonna fucking slip up?
The hate for all four of his puppets carries on to this day. Wings, Boogie, So Real, and Only Use Me Blade, with Wings obviously getting the brunt of the string pulling. At the start, I mentioned how Chuck has an anger towards everything, even a coffee machine. Well, that rage comes out at the beginning of 2025, towards a Keurig coffee maker, which he calls Coog.
That's how the coffee should be, nice and strong. There it goes. Oh, Coog! Second time in a row, Coogie! I'm such a great job, Coogie! Second time in a row, Coogie! Your fucking coffee filters are fucking trash! One good cup of coffee. I want to make a good cup of coffee. There it goes. Oh my God, Coog, you fucking piece of shit, motherfucker. This is you. Fuck you, Coog. I'm about to fucking snap and break this motherfucker. It's a piece of shit.
Well, it does show that the rage towards things is real. All of it: COD, BLM, Wings, cats, and now this coffee maker. He didn't try to be a rage tuber. It's just who he is. A very emotional man who gets angry quickly. A bit controversial, and 6'2", 250 pounds.
6'2", 262 pounds of solid muscle.
The final thing I want to cover before we get into the last chapter is his strange relationship with God. Chuck seems to be a God-fearing man, as seen by the multiple crosses on his walls, swearing to God and on the Bible a lot, and cursing God for not letting him know that his cat was dead. His relationship with God starts to get deeper when he talks about God putting the cats in his life for a reason. He never actually says what the reason is, though.
I believe God put these cats in my life for multiple reasons. There's a reason God put these cats in my life. I won't share with you guys, but read between the lines.
I think that he thinks it's a test to see if he will care for animals, to test that he isn't a total to see if he can get into heaven, and to keep him out of trouble as well. He later speaks about the death of one of his cats, Mookie, saying that he can sell his house now because his favourite cat has died, and will probably get into trouble now that he has no reason to return home or have anything that depends on him.
Before, I didn't want to go to jail because I was worried, Mookie, I could care less. I'm not like a psychopath, but I'm just saying, I basically maintained discipline because I didn't want to get in trouble, so oh my God, my cat, what's going to happen to it? Now, I don't care.
In his most recent video, uploaded at the end of June of this year on Elpresador, he says that God put him on this earth to report guilty people to him, which is a bit strange, as God is supposed to be an all-powerful, all-seeing being who should be able to see that without Chucky's input.
I believe that I was put on this earth to identify bad people and report to God these people. And he handles it from there. I believe that. And I don't want to say any more on that, but let's just say my success rate is 100%.
It seems to get even weirder with Chucky asking God to do him a favour, or dual lightning as Chucky calls it, whether that be to kill his cat.
I asked God to kill it. The tricolor cat, I didn't really want him to kill it, but he did. Now God, you gotta know when I'm joking.
Hurt his neighbour.
I just asked God, I willed my neighbor. I see my neighbor walking down the street, old guy, and he's in bad shape. I asked God, I said, fall. And he tripped over the curb and fell on his face. I willed him. This is the power I have, people. You don't understand. It's a beautiful thing. I willed a man to fall on his face. That's the power God gives me. Me and God got a special pact.
Or wish harm onto random people on Twitter. As we see with the final chapter, Twitter, where Chuck seems to have lost it and starts going off on random people, especially when it comes to race.
From the Puppet Master.
Chuck has had many a Twitter account, as seen by the many uploads plugging whatever account he's using at the time. Unfortunately, all of those previous accounts have been taken down, and if he used to post the sort of stuff he currently posts, then the reason is glaringly obvious as to why. The account he uses currently is called @GPM316. He says that he got suspended a lot because the people who run Twitter are too sensitive, but I personally would not say that's the reason why. Chuck has said before that the only reason he says racist stuff is because black people do the same thing, and has said before that he is not racist.
I'm not a racist. People that know me know I'm not a racist.
But what I'm going to show you is quite the opposite. Let's get the light stuff out of the way first. A tweet about his favourite flavour of Oreos. That's it. That's basically the only thing that he's posted that isn't controversial or racist. I initially thought that Chuck wasn't truly racist, as he was saying stuff in response to stuff that upset him. It was him being lazy and stupid by coming up with controversial takes. I thought he could be educated to not seek such easy remarks, but I don't think that's directly true. Sometimes he just adds racist input to certain tweets. Take this one for example, a white girl cutting a black guy's hair, and have a look at what his unprompted response to this post is. He says that unfortunately they will probably end up beating and robbing her. I suppose that confirms the suspicion that Chuck is racist. There isn't really a defense for what he says there.
And I'll be honest with you, if I read my tweets, I'd probably think I was a racist also, but I'm not.
The stuff only gets worse from that point forwards. He starts joining massive response chains of racist debates. Well, not really debates, more like just putting his own racist input into some racial argument. He says that little white girls need guns because black guys have guns. He talks about how all blacks want to be wiped deep down. He scrutinises stereotypical black features like big lips. He talks about white dominance. Calls the lady who called the black kid a slur in the playground, here's a picture of her in case you don't know, a Caucasian goddess. He calls Trump his emperor and master, and calls Derek Chauvin a lord. He re-uploads his own blackface, uses AI to give himself blackface, and worst of all, solidifying the racism, he says that black people have a brain size a quarter of the size of white people's, which is apparently scientifically proven.
And I'll be honest with you, if I read my tweets, I'd probably think I was a racist also, but I'm not. But I'm not. A racist, but I'm not. But I'm not.
I don't know why he would say he isn't racist when he has said some of the worst stuff you can say about another race, but it's okay because he has a black nothing.
I ain't got a black nothing, but I will say this.
It's hard to imagine how much more racist stuff was on his old accounts that got taken down. He said himself that he's off the chain when he gets on Twitter.
On Twitter, it's no hold bars. I can throw a twit vid up this and that. I don't have to bite my tongue.
That's pretty much it for the Elpresador content. That's all he does now. He hasn't uploaded in about 3 weeks. All he does is sit on Twitter and is one of the far-right soldiers in the constant cesspit that is Twitter. Twitter is just a cesspit. He posts hundreds of times a day on Twitter. That is like an addiction now. It's just a shame really. He's fallen off massively. He's just become a massive propaganda spreader, be that of race. It's nuts. Anyways, with that we come to an end of Chuck Martin's internet content. You didn't think I'd miss out a board, did you? Let's see what we can make of Chuck Martin's internet career.
Alright people, let's go over Elpresador's internet career and what we've learned about him and what we can analyse. I know this board doesn't include everything and it's a lot smaller than the board I would normally do, but this is the most pressing matters that we've learned, and this video is already like an hour and a half long, so if you want to make it any longer than it is. Okay, so what do we know about Elpresador? The little face here. He was born on the 22nd of October 1968, which makes him 56 years old currently. He is 6'2", 200 and something pounds. That varies from season to season. He used to play football at Syracuse for a year and dropped out because he had alcohol problems. And of course his name is Charles Martin, as we learned from the constant name dropping from his colleagues at work. What does he do for work? Well, we know he was a sheet metal worker at a roofing firm, but then got sacked. But before that, there was mentions of him working at a railroad. Okay, so the questions we asked were, is it all an act? What mental challenges does he face? Is he racist? And the puppetry. Okay, let's go over the most recent one, is he racist? The first thing we saw that was a bit race orientated was the retaliation of the white on black crime being covered heavily by the media, and Chuck was dancing because of it. He will retaliate by posting black on white crime figures to even it out in his own eyes, is what I think. After that, we saw him doing blackface quite a few times with his son, his black son, just like rambling incessantly. Chuck does like to drop racial slurs every now and then, dropping the N-word and a few slurs towards the Asian community when talking about American business owners. After that, we saw the hatred of BLM.
That, of course, does not make you racist. It's hatred for an organisation, not Black Lives Matter. But what was a bit, I don't know, a telltale sign he was right-leaning was the All Lives Matter remark. As we've seen throughout the videos, Chuck is racist towards everyone. Literally everyone. He hates. I don't even think he likes his own mates, be that Master, cameraman, Bengals fan, 49er. He doesn't seem to like any of them really. It's just the people that he's closest to. So if he hates everyone equally, is he racist? And finally, we saw his Twitter, which is only one account of many, as I showed earlier, through the many accounts he had deleted. And that is just full of really unexcusable racial stuff. At first, I thought he's just uneducated and ignorant, just talking about race for the sake of talking about race and trying to get clicks. But as he said, he's only in it for the money. And on Twitter, there's no money to be made really when compared to YouTube. So his takes seemingly are real, but he said before that he isn't racist. And even if someone else saw his tweets, they would think he's racist. But the stuff he said on there isn't really excusable. He's just going at races just for the sake of going at races. And to answer the question, do I think he's racist? I think he is, but he doesn't. Chuck himself doesn't think he's racist. I think in his eyes, he's doing it just to be a puppet master. He's just winding people up. He doesn't see it as like hateful. He's just saying this racist stuff to make black people dance. That's how I think he sees it. Okay, let's go over the mental challenges. Okay, so what we first saw was the big ego, 6'2", 200 and something. Of course, it isn't a mental challenge, but makes him come across as a bit of a prick. The first actual mental challenge he talks about is bipolar / manic depression. Oh, manic depression / bipolar. Next, we saw the backstory of alcoholism and alcohol abuse, which again could taint his brain, as alcohol abuse long term can give you quite a few mental challenges. Then we saw the head scar. Whenever he takes his beanie off, you see it back here, the back of his head. He says he got shot, which is why he has that head scar, and maybe that led to even more mental challenges that we don't know about, but I really don't think he was shot. I think he's just taking a piss there. What he could have is CTE, as we saw from the nitty Jerry Seinfeld, him just talking about how Chuck was a beast in the Tough Man circuit. And so that scar could be from him hitting the floor, getting into just random fights. Yeah, could be CTE. To go alongside the manic depression, he has a very, very low anger / rage threshold, as seen by pretty much his whole channel. I initially thought when I first saw him, he was doing the rage for the clicks, because people like that. They like to see his rage commentaries. That's probably the biggest thing that he did after the console wars, well, and as well. But yeah, the anger threshold, that seems real for his rage, for the coffee machine, all these people here, even his own cat. So I think he might have some anger problems. I don't know what, don't take my word for bomb, as they say in New York. But yeah, this anger threshold could be another mental challenge. And now let's go over, is it all an act? Okay, is it all an act? Based on what we've seen from the Rage Tuber trend, I've questioned, is it all an act? And the constant slip-ups between these stories, be that him throwing an ashtray or an owl statue at his mate's head. All these stories could just be lies, but let's dive deeper into that. For the rage and the, I don't know, just anger towards everything, that seems to be real, because Chuck Martin is just an argumentative person. He seems to come across as brash, as we've seen, putting a gun in his own mouth, going around stores, screaming Gunga Ginga. What goes against this is the console wars, only for the money, and being a notorious puppet master, just wanting to wind people up. I think that's his ideal job, would just be a jester for the king. I think that would be his ideal job. Only for the money, to be fair, that's not outlandish to say you're only on YouTube for the money. It's a bit disappointing from a fan's perspective, being seen as just a token to watch his videos and to get him money. But it's not rare to see that. It's actually quite common, doing it for the money. So obviously he will play it up for the cameras, but I think some of it is genuine. So I don't think it's all an act. I think it's partially an act. And now we go to The puppet list. Let's go over the puppet list and see what we can get from there. I could have gone into this puppetry a lot more in this video. There's a lot more backstory, especially when it comes to So Real 187, like meeting Raging Robert Kennison, whatever the fuck his name is, and So Real getting jealous, because their beef has gone on for the longest, a lot longer than, well, like, I don't know, longer than him. As Chuck said, it's been going on for over 10 years. This is the most recent puppet, Only Use Me Blade. This one is the second longest, and this is the third. Now, why does he hate these people? All of them, what they have in common is they're a bit chungless. All of them, even Chinky, they're all fat, overweight. And another thing they all have in common, I don't know about So Real actually, I think he's the only one that's not in common, but these three, all of their wives, partners or girlfriends have left them. We saw that especially with Boogie. That's the first thing he got the piss taken out of him for, was his wife leaving him for Tyrone. I cannot show the Twitter beef because all of Chuck's account got deleted, so there's no way I could possibly show you the beef before, but I know they had beef on Twitter before just through oral factual evidence, irrefutable factual evidence actually. Is it justified, the hatred for them? For being fat? Probably not, no. The only thing is this one and this one, who both had fans donate to them for their weight loss surgeries. And well, in Wings' case especially, he had the surgery of course, but he didn't lose weight. And the same with Boogie. They just got money from fans. They put their own income in from their jobs to help these two people, but they didn't lose weight. They weren't sticking to what they promised to do. Especially Wings, he did those push-ups and all that. I've showed a bit of B-roll of it. But his story goes deep to not losing weight. And Boogie, of course, there was a documentary recently about him, about not losing weight. It's just, yeah, it's a bit upsetting. So I think it could be deserved for these two about being a bit chungus. The hatred for So Real 187, it's just, I wouldn't really call it hatred, it's just putting his strings, literally, the notorious puppet master. I think it's more just winding them up. I don't think it's like properly that deep. But I know the stuff with Raging Rob was pretty deep, but I didn't cover it in this video. But yeah, I wouldn't really say it's deserved for So Real 187. And finally, Chuck's old friend, Only Use Me Blade. Yeah, he's quite weird. He was caught on stream groping someone, and of course he's a massive alcoholic. All he does is drink. You would think Chuck would have some sympathy for him because Chuck used to be an alcoholic himself, but there doesn't really seem to be much sympathy there. Of course, it started out as sympathy initially, but yeah, it just turned into like hatred really. And Chinky, no, I don't think Chinky deserves to be hated. Okay, right, let's just go over it again quickly to answer questions. Is he racist? I think so, but I don't think he himself thinks he's racist. Is it all an act? Partially. It's the puppetry well deserved upon these fellows. I think it is. Mental challenges, manic depression, maybe CTE, long-term problems stemming from alcohol abuse. What's unique about Chuck is all of the things on here play into each other. You could say that the racism is all an act. The mental challenges lead to the acts and the racism. The acts leads to the puppet list. He could just be acting as a puppet master, but I think that's actually who he is. The mental challenges play into the racism. All of these really are up for contention, really, apart from that one. But if you said the hate wasn't deserved, the mental challenges aren't severe and don't play into the rest of it, and it is an act, you could have a fair point for all of them, to be fair. He's probably the most unique character I've done in terms of he's literally just himself, but he is so unique in the fact that he is himself. And I don't think there's anyone else really like him on the internet. I think we answered our questions pretty well. Of course, you can put your own input in the comments down below. But yeah.
Elpresador, aka Quantrell Bishop, aka Charles Joseph Martin, will go down as one of the most unique characters on the internet, with his fury towards everything, including people of different races, his beef with old friends, his wild backstories of alcoholism and scumbaggery, becoming a serial cat fosterer, and making one of the funniest noises of all time. He's been up, making it on YouTube for a short while, becoming viral, and being the puppet master.
But he's also been down, falling off on YouTube, becoming skin, and turning into one of Twitter's most radical users. Hopefully Charles Martin can find a new niche and get back onto the saddle of YouTube and give us content as interesting as it normally is, and of course, learn not to be racist. This was an investigation into Elpresador. Let me know your favourite Elpresador moment in the comments down below. Leave a like if you liked the video, and subscribe for more content like this in the future. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, have a good day now.
Ah!